You wake up daily, but mentally you're not okay.
Anxiety.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety, sadness, grief. I was operating on very low frequencies. Everybody else seems to be very well settled.
You feel like you're being punished, right? When something like that's happening to you, one after the other.
My biggest breaking point came when I lost a long-term relationship.
Most of us feel like, why is it that certain things are just happening to me? But this is what Saloni has just been saying, that this is your point of pivoting.
I think I've had a 360 turn in my whole life from every aspect, personal to professional. I think now I'm on a completely different frequency. I experience joy irrespective of my external circumstances. I'm able to be stable and control my emotions, be in charge. I had no plan. I didn't know what the next day is going to look like.
I love that.
And initially I was making very little money, I will be very honest.
Right.
Now it's very interesting where I have days where in one day I can make what I make in a whole month. Like if I made something last month, I can make that whole amount
in a day.
Yes. The challenges are here to tell you something.
Yes, it's a message.
Yes, when you're the common denominator and you keep seeing the same problems happening around you, as I said, ask yourself, what message is my higher self trying to give me from this? If you're feeling mentally down, do not give up. That's what I tell you.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited about today's episode. You have no idea. Today I have a very, very special guest. Somebody who people often mistake for my twin, and somebody who's been there for me through thick and thin in my life, and she's undergone a wonderful transformation in her life, and I'm so excited to have her here. Welcome, Saloni. How are you doing today? I'm so excited to have you on this episode. Oh my God.
Wow, thank you for having me here, Shalini. It's really an honor to be here with you today, and I look forward to this.
Yeah, we're always talking at home.
Yes.
Now it's time that you share your story. I can't wait for people to understand the kind of transformation you've been through, because I think you're someone who's been sort of behind the scenes, but you've been so successful in your own way, and people have no idea that you've been through this. So tell us, first introduce yourself. What do you do?
So, as she introduced me, I'm Saloni, and I run how people know me out there is for my business, Duality Lifestyle, which is an importing business. And I've been doing this for about 6 years now. And apart from my business, my interests also highly lie in self-discovery, inner work, spirituality, and basically just discovering who I am and trying to become the best version of myself.
I love that. And Saloni normally underestimates herself because she's been very, very successful, and we are going to talk about that, and I'm so proud of her, and you should also be so proud of yourself.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I think you can just see that on my face and from my expressions. So let's talk about, let's go back to who you used to be. Now, before Duality came into being, and before you underwent your transformation, what was life like? Who was Saloni, and what were some of the struggles and challenges that you are facing? So what was exactly happening in your life before you came into this inner work?
Yeah, so I think before my whole transformation began, I think I was just the normal person, just trying to get by life like everybody is, right? And at that point I was much younger, so I didn't really know anything about myself or who I am, and I was just doing things that everyone is trying to do, trying to be in school, get the best grades, trying to figure out what I'll be doing after that, which kind of jobs. I was just focusing on my work or jobs or whatever, and I thought that life will take the normal route that society teaches us, that go to school, get your degree, get a nice job, be in a nice relationship, have a family, etc., etc. But the interesting part was when life took a turn and things didn't go in that direction. And I think that's where my transformation began, and that was a turning point of my life, which at that point looked like it was very hard. But now that I look back, it was probably the best part of my journey because it led me to where I am now.
Yes.
Without
Yeah.
that, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Absolutely. It's like it's these circumstances, even situations, challenges that shape you into the person that you become, right?
Right.
So let's go a bit into detail if you don't mind sharing. What exactly was going on? When you talked about a life-turning event, what are some of these events that created the transformation? So we'll talk about the transformation afterwards, what exactly happened. But what were the challenges that you are undergoing? Because I know that you have mentioned that there have been times when, everything looks so okay from outside, but internally, you're undergoing your own battles and nobody can know that there's some internal challenges. So do you want to talk a bit about that? Because I know that there are a lot of people who are undergoing that currently. So if you are somebody who is watching this episode, please keep watching because Saloni's story is going to move you and it's absolutely unexpected. So tell us, like when you'd wake up and how was your life on a day-to-day basis looking like?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and thank you for asking. So I think the what happened was that I was trying to follow the path society had given me. Yeah, have a job, trying to succeed in the job, try to make a family, etc., etc. But life took a turn when others were succeeding in their jobs, but I was not able to stick to a job or stay happy in a job. So I faced a lot of challenges in that. I was not stabilizing in my career.
Yes.
Yeah, in summary, I was not
Yes.
stabilizing.
I think we had a similar experience when it came to that. Yes.
Correct. You got it. Secondly, I think my biggest breaking point came when I lost a long-term relationship. So and that's the same year we lost our father, right?
Yes.
So it's interesting how everything happened in the
It
same.
coincided. Yes.
Correct. That year seemed like it was the hardest year ever, but that was the biggest turning point, and I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for that. And this was approximately 9 or 10 years ago. So what happened was that all those events happening at one time, that's what led me to my breaking point, right? Because
Yes.
when things are externally going wrong, then everything feels like it's broken
Yes,
apart.
it feels like you're going to break.
Yes.
So what was your experience like inside, on a day-to-day basis? Like, give me an example. For example, you'd wake up on a certain day, how would you wake up feeling and how would your day be going? Because, we've lived together for so many years and I think I never knew that this was happening until you told me recently about it, right? You came and said that there were a lot of mental challenges that were happening and I was like, oh my god, I had no idea. And we've been living together. So see, this is what's interesting about this, that you could be living with somebody right next to you but you have no idea what they're going through. So keep listening.
Yes, that's interesting because it's like we all live in our own worlds. You basically live in your head, right?
In your mind. Yeah.
In your mind, yeah. So because of all these events that had happened, yeah, these 3-4 things happening at one go, of course I was mentally, emotionally, physically, I was quite affected. But I think at that point we didn't know what to do about it, right? We were a bit younger, and at that time you don't know what to do, how to seek help and all that. So it's like you're sort of trying to deal with it yourself. So it was very interesting where it's like you wake up daily, you wake up and you just carry on with what you're supposed to do, but mentally you're not okay.
The anxiety.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxiety, sadness, grief. I was operating on very low frequencies. At that point, I didn't even know there were low frequencies. And I just had to wake up and get on with whatever I had to do. So I would try to find my own ways of trying to heal myself. Like for me, it was trying to, go online, look for a course or look for some kind of healing or
some help.
Look for some answers. I even dug a bit deep into astrology and I was wondering, why is this happening to me? Like what did I do wrong? Where did I lose track? Because everybody else seems to be very well settled.
You feel like you're being punished, right? When something like that's happening to you, one after the other.
Yeah, and then you wonder why me, and that's what led me to discovering. I think eventually I went on a journey of looking for myself, finding me.
This is very interesting because most of us feel like, why is it that certain things are just happening to me? But this is what Saloni has just been saying, that this is your point of pivoting, right? This is how you pivoted.
Yes.
So let's talk about the pivot now itself. Like, you said that you went searching for answers, right? And I think in the beginning you mentioned about inner work. So, can you tell us a bit about that? Like, what made you commit to the inner work? Because, see, there are people who find information online, they talk to people, they read books, but some of them never pursue the inner work to the point that there's a transformation or a change. So, what made you commit to this inner work, and what inner work exactly did you do that brought you out of the situation? Would you mind sharing those two things?
Sure. Thank you for the very detailed question. So inner work, okay, for me it was I tried to look for answers by doing. For me, I did a lot of courses, and I wanted to do courses from people who have sort of made it, because I feel like if they've made it, then they could.
So can I?
So can I, and there could be some hidden information that I can get, which can help me get ahead. Because why are there people who are succeeding? So if they can succeed, so can I can come out of this and create a new version of me, right? So I think I spent a lot of years, close to 7-8 years, doing a lot of courses here and there.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point I felt like I'm doing so many courses, but I'm still not where I want to be. However, at the same time, I can fully say that all the courses I did
Brought some transformation in you.
definitely.
Yeah.
You cannot discard any course.
I love that.
You might not
Thank
be able
you.
to quantify
Yes.
what
Yes.
this is doing to you.
But it has some contribution towards your growth.
Yes, because with every course you do, you are expanding your awareness and your consciousness. Because at the end of the day, this is a game of expanding your energy, expanding your consciousness, and expanding your awareness. Basically,
Beautifully said. Yes.
so the three pillars that I landed finally just recently on knowing about the three pillars. Should I say them?
Yes, we'll talk about that. Absolutely. But let me ask you now, see, you said that all courses had some
Yeah.
sort of contribution to your growth, right? Now, is that the reason that you committed to the inner work? Like, you said that just recently you've come across some things, some three pillars, right? Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that Saloni and I are on the same transformation journey. So it's been wonderful because we serve as each other's mastermind partners.
Yes.
It could never be more beautiful. So I can relate to everything she's talking about because we're undergoing a similar journey. But today it's about her journey, right? Which is so amazing. So yeah, let's talk about exactly now. What made you feel like it's the inner work that you wanted to commit to? Why not anything else?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So along this journey, I came to understand that your outer world, meaning the outcomes and results and anything you're facing outwardly, is actually being created from within.
Yeah, the consciousness, the awareness that you just talked about, and it's not a physical thing. It's you, who you are as an energetic being, right?
Exactly, because you are operating with a certain frequency. So the frequency that you're emanating outside,
Yes.
From within, is what is creating the results outside.
Absolutely.
Whether it's your business results, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's even in your small moments in your daily life, all that is,
Yes.
all your frequencies creating those outcomes. That's what I came to realize.
Absolutely. So, we talk about the dominant frequency from our mentor, right? That's what she's been teaching us, that you are projecting your dominant frequency even when you're brushing your teeth. What dominant frequency are you on? We are here on this chat, on this podcast. What dominant frequency are we projecting right now? And that's creating our results all the time. So tell me, Saloni, there's inner work and then there's gathering knowledge. Can you tell me a bit about that? Because I keep preaching about that. But I'd love to hear this from somebody who's actually undergone this process for themselves, apart from myself. What is the difference, and what would you tell people around that?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because just like you, I've also experienced that. Like in the beginning, when you're so new in this journey, like all you're doing is you're gathering information. Yeah, you want to watch every YouTube video, you want to do every Mind Valley course, etc., etc. You want to be, you want to go to every healer.
And that's more at a mental level, I'm guessing.
Correct. So at that point, it really, yes, it does really help you, because that's all you know.
Sure.
But then at some point, like you start wondering, but there is something deeper. Why is it that I know everything mindset wise,
But nothing is changing.
yeah, which is great, because that is highly required, but nothing is changing. Like I'm not experiencing a big breakthrough or
Or a different reality.
or big results, and then that's when I think now we come to the three pillars, like, which I don't really know how widely it's being
Thought.
because I think a lot of YouTube and all that is stuck at the mental level, which it's great. I mean, it's highly needed, but it'll only take you so far.
Yeah, fair enough. So what would you say to somebody who's, let's say been watching YouTube, or who's just been reading books for years? What would your advice be to them?
So to some extent, like, that can become, in as much as it's serving you, it can become a bit of like a hamster wheel, where like you keep going round and round and round. Like it just gives you a bit of feel good.
Yeah, and you don't really get anywhere.
Yeah, you feel good for a while, which is amazing, but then it's like after you feel good, when the high you get from it goes low, then what are you coming back to? You might not be able to again rush and watch another video.
Yeah, and how much information can you really take in, right? I mean,
Correct.
there's a limit, and I always teach my people that your mindset, which is your conscious mind, only has a 5% impact. So then, the question is, how far do you really want to go? What do you really want, and how far do you want to go for it? How far do you want to go for the breakthrough that you desire, right? So now let's talk about the exciting part. Let's talk about your transformation.
Yes.
I know that you've had income transformations, personality transformations. I've seen you grow in front of my eyes. We're both transformed in our own ways. It's been amazing, right?
Yeah.
I think there's no better platform than here to share all this, right?
Yes.
With people. And your relationships with people, your day-to-day state. Tell us about your exact transformations, because you committed to the inner work. What have you been experiencing?
Wow, that's a very, very, it's a lovely question, because I can say that I think I've had a 360 turn in my whole life, from every aspect, personal to professional, and thank you for being there, first of all. With me
Still here.
each day. Wow, yes, thank you.
SG, our initials are SG. We call ourselves super glue. That we are stuck to each other like super glue. Huh?
Yeah, that's lovely. Like, I mean, I'm so grateful to have you. So so I think transformation wise, as I told you, like I would wake up every day in a very low state, right?
That was your past.
That was my past. So every day would be like, you're feeling down, you're not, you're grieving, you're like a bit
You're unhappy, you're not satisfied.
Yes. So I went from that into, I think now I'm on a completely different frequency. I experience joy irrespective of my external circumstances. I'm at that point.
Powerful.
Right. I think, and I'm so grateful, because I'm able to be stable and control my emotions, be in charge, despite what's happening externally.
So powerful.
Yeah. And whereas before that was really not the case. So I think that has been my biggest win.
Yes.
Like, wins are not only measured
through finances.
Yeah, through finances, or through other, they have other criteria, but it's also really about your inner state. Like, you could be in the best location in the world, but what is your inner state like? I think that was my whole journey, like going from all the low frequencies to now a joyous, stable.
I still remember you kept mentioning that, in 2016 we were on a certain holiday,
right?
Just one of the
Locally,
local
yeah.
beach locations, and you were telling me that it was such a beautiful place, but internally you are completely distorted.
Right.
So this is what she's talking about.
Yes, so it all comes down to your inner state, like wherever you are, whatever you're doing, or you could have everything in this world, like
Yes.
physically, right? Like the best resources, the best location, the best everything, the best comfort.
Yeah.
But what state are you operating from? And if you're able to just nail that for yourself as an individual, that's the best gift
You can give to yourself.
Yes.
That is so powerful. Oh my God. Because it's like your business, your life, everything is a reflection of your state. So if you're watching this is what I want you to understand, that work on yourself, fix your inner state first. But by the way, there's nothing to fix, actually. I said it wrong. You don't need any fixing. You just have to delayer yourself. You have to get rid of all the layers that have formed around your pure being. You're a pure being, and you are the source, you are the creator of your life. So because of the societal conditioning, because of external circumstances, we've become this very sad, depressed, unhappy people, who are always striving to achieve the next thing. There's nothing wrong in striving to achieve the next thing, obviously, but how are you feeling on a day-to-day basis? And I keep repeating this to people, right? So work on yourself first, so that your business, your life, your relationships, your health, everything can be reflected from there. Because you want to be happy, you want to be joyful. By the way, joy is your birthright, right? You don't have to wait for circumstances to change to feel joyful. You first feel joyful, and then everything else happens. And that's exactly what has happened for Saloni. So let's talk about your business transformation, and in your transformation around how you've changed the way you relate to people. and I'm going to mention one example, if you don't mind, but yeah, let's talk about your business and financial transformation first, and then we'll go to the relationships bit of it. Yeah.
So I think business wise, as I mentioned, I had a lot of instability with jobs.
Yeah.
Just to recap, like from where to where I am now, right? And I kept wondering, why is everyone making it and why not me?
Income stability,
right, and that, right?
Yeah.
So one fine day about 6 years ago, in the middle of the night, I had this idea, like, of starting the business that I'm currently doing. Now, the way it started and the way it is now are also very different. Yeah?
Absolutely. Because you become a different person.
Right. It took from what I started. So whatever idea I got, I started it, right? From where it was then to where it is now are completely different, because of my own inner state, frequency, and all that has completely shifted.
Absolutely.
But had I not undergone this struggle and taken that leap when the idea came to me, and if I had not just done it with full trust,
yes,
right,
yes,
and without knowing what the next step
absolutely,
really is,
because everybody keeps talking about planning and strategizing, but here you used the power of your faith.
I had
to
no
take the next step
I had
forward.
no strategy, guys.
Yes.
I had no plan. I didn't know what the next day is going to look like.
I love that.
And initially I was making very little money, I will be very honest.
And now you make you earned your monthly income in a day.
Yeah, right? Now it's very interesting where I have days where in one day I can make what I currently, like, if what I make in a whole month, like if I made something last month, I can make that whole amount
in a day.
Yes. I don't know how that happens, but
you know how it happens. It's the inner work. You just said it. Your frequency.
It definitely is, right? So I mean, I can say that has been a very those things that I see happening to me are very interesting, and somehow I see the work paying off. I see the outcome. So however difficult every day feels, like, the journey can feel very hard and long and all that. You feel like you're not seeing any change, but trust me,
it's happening.
It is happening, and you will see it in your physical reality. You will. There's no way you won't.
Absolutely. This is so beautiful. Let's talk about now how you've changed in terms of relating with people, because I've known your previous version. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's no judgment here. By the way, there's no judgment in my spaces ever. And it's just to show people how beautiful the transformation can be. We are all human, by the way, so we all have little irritations, little
Yeah.
things that get to us. I mean, look, I also wake up feeling irritated today. Nobody is perfect, right? I mean, you've seen me in my moods. I think it just happened over the weekend on Saturday, that I recall. And I think you used to have frequent moments, of where you'd lose patience, you'd feel irritated. How has that transitioned? And how is your day to day now different from how it used to be prior to the inner work?
Right. Yeah. So again, it just comes back to it's just the same thing, right? Like again, your inner the inner work that you're doing. What it does, the inner work, is that it creates some kind of awareness in you.
Yeah.
You really start becoming aware of who you are.
Yes.
And I think that's the whole game. That eventually that's the whole game. Yeah, understanding who you are, your whole consciousness, how you operate. So I think because I was very unaware, like, yeah, I was a totally different person. Like every task just felt so burdensome, relating to people, dealing with people.
Yes.
Everything was just a
It
burden.
felt heavy.
It felt heavy, and you don't even
You
know.
don't even
You don't
know.
know where it's
And
coming
you think
from.
that's how life is supposed to be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. Yeah.
But as soon as when I went very deep into the internal work, kind of beyond the mindset work and all that, I became very much aware of how I'm operating. I'm operating with certain patterns, right?
Yes.
All humans, all of us, the human consciousness operates with patterns.
Absolutely. And they don't even know.
Yes, and we don't really know. But the first thing to dealing with them is becoming aware. So now that I feel lighter, I can accomplish so much more in one day and not feel burdened by it. I became aware of the patterns through which I was operating as a human being.
Which felt normal because it was so autopilot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And you don't even know where it's coming from. Yeah?
Absolutely.
You don't know how your soul is carrying all those things. But when you I think I've gone quite deep into releasing those things, and now I'm able to stretch myself and do way more in a shorter time frame and relate with the people around me in a better manner, with a better state, with better energy, and from very good frequency.
Yes, absolutely. And people feel your frequency and energy, right? It's like, haven't you noticed nowadays when we go out, it's like everybody just wants to keep talking to us, and we keep saying that how come everybody keeps gravitating towards us, right?
They want to be in our aura.
Exactly, because not to brag, but just naturally it's happening, right?
Correct.
And sometimes you don't always have the bandwidth to give people your time and energy, but we try our best.
Correct.
Right? Fantastic. This is amazing. So one thing that I'd like to add for anyone who's watching this is that it's Saloni who actually taught me that it doesn't matter what you sell or what business you are in. Now just to go back, I forgot to mention that prior. She taught me that it's all about your frequency, because the business that she does, there are various people who do the same business here, in the same city, but she's been able to make so much revenue out of what she's doing, and she's like, it doesn't really matter what you do, because the frequency is what brings in the clients. Oh, by the way, she doesn't even market herself much. You don't really market yourself, and people just gravitate to you, right? Your clients are just coming to you, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what I recall. Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm very fortunate, but again,
not fortunate, you did the work. Give yourself credit.
Yes. I genuinely don't have so much time to market, and I've not been able to outsource the marketing up to now. So something I need to look into. But yes, it all just comes down to your frequency. Like when you're confident in yourself, you go out there as an entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman. I know how I'm going to serve you. I know my work.
Yes.
Go out with that confidence. People are buying that confidence and that certainty from you.
Absolutely. And your clients just come to you, right?
Right.
Like they just gravitate to you. You just one day come and tell me that, hey, this person came and that person came and this is what they bought and etc. Right?
Right.
I mean, those are wonderful stories and I'm always excited to hear, obviously.
Yes.
So wow, this has been amazing. So to wrap it up now, Saloni, tell us, what is one thing that you tell someone who is struggling in their life, business, finances? How can they come out of it? What would be your message and advice based on how you have transformed your life?
I think what's very important is if you, in case you're a business person, you're running your own business, you're an entrepreneur, or even if you're in corporate, you're employed. If you're facing certain challenges, the challenges are here to tell you something.
Is a message.
Yes. They're signaling something to you. Now, you have to open up yourself and your awareness and figure out what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Okay? When there's a pattern that's repeating in your life.
Yeah.
You need to figure out what it's telling you, number one. And secondly, how you're going to release from that what is no longer serving
you.
If you're an entrepreneur who has, people keep coming to you and telling you your price is too high, or if you're in corporate and you keep having issues with your boss, or you keep...
we had all that.
Yes, you keep changing jobs.
Yes.
Or, you keep having issues with colleagues.
Yeah.
Something there, your higher self is trying to give you a message.
And you see, you are the common denominator.
Exactly.
Right? So you need to look at yourself rather than start wondering, how can I change the external, and what can I do externally? I think that's another point of discussion, that most people try to fix the outside.
Yes.
But what's your take on that based on your experience?
Yeah, so exactly, when you're the common denominator and you keep seeing the same problems happening around you, as I said, ask yourself, what is this trying, what message is my higher self trying to give me from this? What am I supposed to learn from these lessons? What am I supposed to fix? How am I going to do it, and how am I going to move to my next level? How am I overcoming this?
Absolutely.
That's number one. And as soon as you connect with your higher self and ask, you will start downloading the answers, and you will be able to come out of the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So never ever get scared by anything. Secondly, if you're an entrepreneur, entrepreneurship has come to you because of self-actualization.
Yes.
Self-actualization can best be achieved through the journey of entrepreneurship.
That's a tough one to swallow, but
Well, it's tough, but it's rewarding at the same time. You know. And thirdly, I would say, if you want to succeed with whatever you're doing, whether you're in employment, whether you're in entrepreneurship, please do not listen to just anyone and everyone. Be very, very careful about what you're consuming.
Yes.
There is a lot of data and information that is
not relevant,
being thrown out there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
some opinions, external noise and opinions, right?
Yes. So some opinions or some information will be very good for you, and some will not work towards you. Some of it becomes counterproductive. So you just need to be very careful about what you're consuming.
Absolutely, and you have to learn how to filter.
Yes, I'll just add something where, like, if I had heard just what everyone in the society or in my extended family was telling me, I would not be where I am today.
Yes.
I am doing a business that it's very unique in its own way. I told you that the market is kind of like, there's so many players in it.
Yes.
There's so much happening.
Yes.
But why am I succeeding?
Yes.
Because it's from my inner
You're
conviction.
working inside out. You're the creator. You're the source. You sit and set the intention of how much you want to make. Oh, by the way, Saloni is a very good case study for this, because she has actually told me that she has intended to earn a certain amount on a certain day, and you've actually done it.
Yes, I can never forget. The time.
Yeah, you see. But she's very modest about this. She doesn't like to speak about this publicly. But today she's come here, and I think this has been such an amazing conversation, right?
Yeah, I think I would just like to add that if you are going through, if you're feeling mentally down, because I've been through this a lot, where I have days that I just feel down for nothing, and I'm sure we're all human, so we all feel that. You know what? Whether you're not feeling good mentally, or you're facing issues externally, do not give up. That's what I can tell you. If I could get out of it and see actual success in my life, which I've created myself, then
because
you could too.
You came from a very dark place.
Yes.
Well, what's your opinion on seeking help? In terms of getting a mentor, or what's your opinion? Because we are both under a specific mentorship right now, right? So what's your opinion and advice on that to the listeners?
mentorship is a must.
Yes.
It's, you know what, you try to DIY, do it yourself, it's just going to elongate your journey, and you're just going to get
I know.
lost in between, and
Yes.
it's just going to, but mentor and get the right mentor.
Yes.
That's because there are a lot of people who are claiming to teach things here and there. With, you need to just make sure you relate with the right person. But every person will relate with a specific kind of mentor.
Absolutely.
So you need to make sure you get someone who is aligned with you and what you want to do.
I believe it speeds up the process, and
Yes.
Yeah, because I think, as you say, DIY, it only takes you to a certain level.
Yes.
And then you'll hit a ceiling, right? And then beyond that, you need somebody who can push you, who can help you break your limits, isn't
and
it?
who can make you stretch out of your current, like, which is kind of what we are going through
I know,
right now.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Saloni, for being here. This has been an amazing conversation. It's I think I'm so excited for this episode. You have no idea. And thank you for being so honest and open with your story.
Thank you for having me. It's just been it's been so wonderful, and I feel honored that you invited me here. And this is really good.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
So for those of you who've been watching this till the end, I think this has been such a heartwarming conversation. And if you are somebody who's struggling mentally, financially, in your business life, whatever area it is, you've just heard what Saloni has said. You can come out of it. Seek the help that you need. All right. And do get in touch with me if you feel that you resonate with me. So maybe I could be the person to help you. And remember, the limit does not exist.